Chutes and Ladders, AEW 2024 Promos of the Year. What's going on, guys? My name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Jason.
Okay. Promos create characters, sets up feuds, and make people, just quite frankly, pretty legendary.
I'm excited. I love this. I think promos are a huge part of a character and storylines, not just based on ring ability and what you can do. It's all about, can you talk and can you tell a story and get the audience emotionally involved. So, and like you said, we had a hard time really coming down to a top 5 list just because AEW has some pretty fire promos, especially for this year. So I'm so excited.
In addition to that, AEW, I feel like they let them just rip and run. Yeah. They're allowed to say what they want. I genuinely think that the wrestlers have creative control of their promos, probably entirely, and that's part of the reason why they just go with it. So we're going to start off with honorable mentions. Who are your honorable mentions?
I'm looking at a list because it's so detailed. Okay. So my honorable mention, I have one just because I was like, if I start listing more than one, it's just going to get out of control. So it's going to be your girl, Mariah May. And it was specifically from Dynamite on August 14th. And now it's time to burn. Let me guess, you have that too on your list? Either way, I loved it. I think Mariah is amazing, not only in the ring, but also with her promos. And this was right after she turned on Tony, after she won the Owen Hart Championship. And it's that black and white video. It's very sultry. It's so sexy. And it's just so Mariah, where she's like, I'm going to have you obsess over me, Tony, and then I'm going to forget about you. And it's her burning her gear. And, we're both going to die, but I'm going to write your eulogy. And I love it. It's perfect.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And also, just so the audience knows, this can actually include vignettes. So it's not necessarily, it's not like they physically have to be inside the ring.
Yes.
Okay. My honorable mention. Yeah, I have a list too. I mean, I have a lot. Okay. But I'm going to go Will Ospreay. Mm-hmm. It was Not Afraid of the Grind. And that was on April 10th. That was hilarious. And again, it wasn't even a long promo, but the fact that he was able to kind of get it in and get it out, it definitely had a strong impact. And it got the crowd to pop. That was mine upon picking these promos. Part of how I kind of came up with this is, how did the crowd react? And this really, really, really just got the crowd to react. So
yeah, Will is awesome on the mic.
He definitely is, bruv. That's so funny he says that. Okay, cool. All right, who's your number 5?
It's going to be Toni Storm, and her promo. It was on Collision on April 20th. Super quick promo. It was only maybe not even 2 or 3 minutes. It was right after, and she was still holding the title, right after Thunder Rosa attacked her and smeared lipstick all over her face. So after it dried, it looked like dried blood if you didn't know what happened before. But it was just so much fun because Toni is so great with the mic and just feeding into her character. And even though it was 2 minutes, she had so many funny one-liners to Thunder Rosa. And it was like, if you want to uplift women, you should have stayed in social work. And what else did she say? She was like, if you tell me to go to hell, you better have its address because it's actually in my bedroom and I make love to my demons every night. It was just insane. I love these women. What's your number 5?
They bring it. That is for sure. No doubt. All right. Number 5, you may not like this one as much, but since it was his final year, I'm going Daniel Bryan when he held nothing back and confronts Swerve. That was on August 21st, 2024. It was one of the first, it was, of all the promos that he's ever cut, whether it was WWE or here, I mean, as far as getting that crowd going, it really got them lit. He went on to win that title. In my humble opinion, I have a feeling he knew that his time was ticking, so he had to bring that. Brandon Bryan's one of my favorites, and I just having that fire just come out of him with the American Dragon, it was great. I'm going to go with that number 5.
Good choice.
All right, who's your number 4?
It's going to be a recent one. It's Jon Moxley's, the one from October 16th on Dynamite, where he is riding in the back of the truck bed, and sure. It's just, I love these videos, like the vignettes part. It's just, and they're getting so much better with the production of it, where he's doing his monologue, and he's very mocked and very dark, and they're doing the slow-mos of the crowd and the rest of the locker room in shock of what he's done. And, he's like, I'm going to, burn the forest down and rebuild another one. And I'm tired of what AEW is, and I'm ready to go back to what it should be. And I'm ready for the change. And there's so much emotion in that, and kind of sort of shoot. And, a lot of us fans who are, on the fence with AEW right now creatively, we're like agreeing with him. We're like, yeah, let's bring it back. So
1,000,000%. It's just kind of fun. I realize this now. There's a lot of fire references in a lot of different promos. So, maybe that's an overall type of directive, but, hey, it works.
Hey, I like it.
All right, cool. So my number 4 is going to be Mariah May, Time to Burn. So you actually mentioned honorable mention. Yeah, everything about that was lit. So I legit, I've been an editor for 7 years, and now I picked it back up with this podcast. And I must say, when it comes to these vignettes, there's a lot of detail and time and attention to detail that you have to kind of put into these type of vignettes as far from a production value. Mm-hmm. And to your point, you kind of already said it, but everything about this was just 5-star. So the production value of this was just amazing. Yeah. All right, number 3, who you got?
It's my man Wardlow.
Oh, okay.
He did an amazing promo back in February on Dynamite. And it was one of the last times we really saw him active. And it's still something that I go back and I Google and rewatch just because it was so good. And I remember it. And I honestly felt like this was a real shoot. Like, he was pissed off. And it was him just going off on the locker room, on Tony Khan, saying, where is my title shot? I am so much better than this. I am AEW. He mentions he is AEW homegrown. And there is just so much emotion and anger with him. And he calls out MJF. He even calls out Punk, Samoa Joe, Swerve. And then Jericho comes out and interrupts him and is like, I don't know who you think you are, trying to compare yourself to these people. You haven't won shit, kind of thing. And they go at it. But it was just Wardlow on the mic. First of all, his mic skills improved immensely. Second, it was so real and so powerful. And I was like, yeah, get it. So that's
Love it. Okay. No, that's a very solid choice. I know exactly what you're referencing to. It was very strong. The only reason why I didn't really have that on there is because we really haven't seen much of him since. So, yeah. So to be honest, a promo really is supposed to put you over, and it should have. I don't know why creative dropped the ball on that.
Good question.
Okay, my number 3 is, you already said this on your list, is Jon Moxley's promo of the Paradigm Shift. That's the same thing. You already kind of mentioned the significance of it. It's funny that they had this towards the end of the year. This is going to set up storylines towards the rest of this calendar year, and realistically probably towards the end of next year. But I think this is a storyline because of that promo really set the tone for AEW for quite some time. So yeah, I'm just kind of echoing everything, but just agreeing with you. All right, number 2, who you got? We're getting down to it.
Okay, this one was just so good. It was when Hangman burns down Swerve's house right before All In. Yeah. There was a
again with the fire.
I love it. Burn down everything. It works. And it was we should have known when Swerve did that really excited video when he was like, "Oh, I bought my childhood home," and I'm like, "Oh no, something's gonna happen to it." And what do we know? Like that's what happens. Hangman is walking through his house saying, your dad doesn't love you, you don't have a relationship. And then as he's like saying all these really mean, hurtful things to Swerve, he's pouring gas through the house, and then he sits in the front yard and just lights it. And I loved it. His monologue was so powerful, and it just makes you hate him because we love Swerve.
Yeah.
And it was so good. The production of it, everything.
Sure.
Top tier.
Listen, that's a very strong promo. This was the year of Swerve, so I think that segment actually kind of is a huge part of that. So
yeah.
All right. I went back and forth between my number 2 and number 1, honestly, all week. But number 2, I'm going MJF's Double or Nothing 2024 promo. That was just epic. He on the mic is just phenomenal. Everything he said was hilarious. When he said whether it's New Japan or Vince McMahon, wow, the crowd popped. That was I was very, very, very close to putting it number 1. I was very close to putting it 1A, 1B. I'll give you my number 1 and I'll tell you exactly why I had number 1 that way. But yeah, the MJF promo, that just really said so. And again, he was off TV for quite some time, so it was kind of a return. So I thought that really just kind of set. Yeah, I really thought that kind of brought him back to life.
Yeah.
All right, who's your number 1?
MJF, Double or Nothing.
Okay.
And you know what? He's always going to be number 1. When it comes to AEW and promos, he is untouchable when it comes on the mic. Like, do not even try to battle him when he's on. He will destroy you. And that even goes for some other promotions too. He is amazing. And when he came in wearing that Triple H jean jacket, when he came back to Madison Square Garden, he just came back in true MJF style. And we were kind of wondering, is he going to renew his contract? And then, he pulls out the Wolf of Wall Street and he's the Wolf of Wrestling. And he's like, I'm not effing coming, or I'm not effing leaving. And, oh God, I just love it. And then he took the devil mask that Adam Cole was using to turn against him, and he did a damn elbow drop on it. And
yeah,
it's hilarious. He is so great. He's so funny, so charismatic. He is chef's kiss to me.
No, 100%. And everything you just said, I mean, we kind of just said kind of collaborative together. Again, we don't know each other's lists, so this is interesting that we both had him so high. Okay, my number 1. And part of why I pick what I pick is because sometimes you can actually hit the sentiment of it. And this really, really got me, and I think it got the fans that night. So I'm surprised it wasn't on your list. So again, this is just to go to show you that we don't see each other's lists. Okay, it is going to be Britt Baker's DMD comes face to face with double champion Mercedes Moné. It was on July 3rd, 2024.
Yeah.
Wow. That was, for her to come out, I mean, I really think it sounded like every one of those words came from her heart. Even if it was scripted, hats off to her because she sold it really well. It really touched everyone. And then she went from like sweet, and then as soon as Mercedes came out, I mean, they started just going at each other. It was great. So I love that promo. I thought it was, I gotta be honest, rewatching a lot of these different promos kind of puts everything in new perspective. I love Britt Baker. I really do. Yeah. I mean, I love Mariah May, but I mean, Britt Baker's amazing.
No, that was an awesome promo. You could tell that was emotion. That was true. So I completely get why that's number 1 for you.
Yeah, it was so cool, so special. I'm so glad she's okay.
Yeah.
All right, that actually wraps up this episode. Wow, that was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Join the fun with us. Please DM us at the Chutes and Ladders. Give us your rankings. Give us your honorable mentions compared to our list. As always, please like, share, and subscribe on both YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Josen.
All right. Well, listen, you have a blessed day. Have a blessed week.
Bye, friends.